we're mixing a police drama with a horror film. Alright, I'm intrigued. What is up, Flick fans? Welcome back to my channel. A brand new movie dropped on demand today, and that film is called Body Cam. I was interested. I saw the trailer. I said, this could be something really good. I need you in the comments down below. Were you looking forward to Body Cam? Did it scare you? Let's get into it. So, in Body Cam, when a routine traffic stop results in the unexplained, grisly death of her colleague, a cop, played by Mary J. Blige, realizes footage of the incident will play for her eyes only. As the attacks mount, she races to understand the supernatural force behind them. It's directed by Malik Vithal. It stars Mary J. Blige, like I said, and Nat Wolff, not Alex Wolff, who has been pretty prominent in Hollywood as of late, but his brother, a.k.a. the main guy in the Naked Brothers band. But I like Nat Wolff as an actor. He hasn't quite had the roles his younger brother has had, but he's pretty solid when I see him, and Mary J. Blige is just really good. I mean, obviously, she can do it all. She can sing, she can act, and she proves it once again in this movie that she can at least get close to carrying a film. Because while the lead performances were really solid, and once again, I love the concept of what we're doing here. We're mixing what makes a horror film really great, the suspense, the tension, all of those things are present within this film. But then we're incorporating elements of a police drama, obviously tapping into a few things that are more realistic, such as police brutality, shootings in the United States. It will be a film that I believe some are going to say is predictable, and oh no, we're getting another one of these films, but I like the fact that they're taking that concept and mixing it with something new. And it always feels like this kind of film tends to come out and not make a splash, even when they should make a splash. Last year we got Black and Blue, and didn't love that movie, but I like the concept behind it. But again, we're mixing and meshing genres here. The story plays out in a way that was interesting, I will admit. Unfortunately, though, my favorite part of the movie was the setup, because beyond that, once we start getting into this plot and balancing these two very different types of stories, it becomes overly convoluted and, frankly, a bit of a mess. You have Blige coming back from a layoff after something tragic happened, having to prove herself as a cop, and then she's paired with the new guy, the rookie, an officer named Danny. So you have a bit of a buddy cop storyline there, except once we meet him, learn who he is, and get a basis of their relationship, that's not really hit on from then on out. And unfortunately, we are expected to care about their relationship by the time we get to the end. I didn't get hardly anything from that. Now, a lot of that has to do with the event that happens at the beginning. There's a traffic stop, and one of her fellow officers has a pretty gruesome death, but what Renee doesn't know is that she shares a connection to this case at the beginning of the film, and she is the only one who manages to see footage of the incident. And thus, this cat and mouse game between our officers and whatever is responsible for a lot of these violent deaths, and it's really this path of destruction. It begins that chase. And just me saying that out loud, I'm like, oh, that's pretty interesting. It's buddy cop stories. You have this horror element to it, something beyond what we can control. But once the story begins to progress, you realize that things aren't, not that they have to be explained, right? I don't need them to force-feed me knowledge when I can clearly learn from what's going on. They don't explain certain elements as well as you would want them to. And then by the time they get to the end in the third act, they're incorporating things that come out of nowhere, and you don't necessarily get the answers that you need. You do get an answer. You do get a revelation in that third act, which I found to be interesting enough, but was it worth this long trudge to get to that point? Because the film does slow down to a very slow pace, and one that I think is going to throw a lot of people off. And it's unfortunate because obviously I like our main two performances. The supporting cast is pretty good. There were a few times where I'm like, okay, I think the filmmaking could have been better here, but they utilized the body cam setup, the premise of the movie, clearly. I thought that was interesting, but the movie is so dark, you can barely see what's happening at times. They mix and match different camera styles, which will throw a lot of people off, and it's the story progression that didn't quite capitalize on what I thought was so interesting at the beginning, and it's this horror action adventure with the buddy cop aspect, and frankly, I think a lot of people are going to see this as an absolute mess because the balance just was not there. I did still have fun with it. It was still entertaining enough, and I enjoyed some of the overboard violence. I thought that was interesting, but at the end of the day, body cam just did not quite execute. The concept is there, the execution was not. If you guys enjoyed this review, I would love to know what you think down below. Leave me your comments, smash that thumbs up button if you'd like more things like this. We go right down the middle. I'm going to 50%, a 5 out of 10 for body cam. A lot of things present that could have been better than they ended up being, but it's not the worst movie to rent on demand, Amazon Prime, wherever you're going to watch this. Thank you guys for watching this video. I'll be back very soon with another Netflix review and plenty of fun videos this week. Okay, I'm going to go sleep.